Well, I meant especially the board.
Got
I
it.
mean,
Got it.
this latest example is Musk being Musk and being incredibly impulsive. I don't think we can conclude at all that this entire investment is the product of any long-term rational thought or plan. But imagine being a fellow director with Elon Musk sitting in on board meetings, getting access to all kinds of confidential information, maybe agreeing, maybe not agreeing, and deciding to go on Twitter and say whatever in the moment he feels like doing. He's already demonstrated that he cannot really exercise much self-control when it comes to his disclosures. So putting him in a position of having all this confidential information, I think, would have been a potential disaster.
But Jim, here's the problem. It's also brilliant marketing, right? I mean, Tesla has not had to spend a penny on advertising ever, and that probably saves them hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per car. So Musk's presence, much like I'm going to say it, much like Trump, tends to draw a lot of criticism, but also a lot of attention. Is that not what Twitter needs the most right now?
Well, the thing, though, is he can get all the attention for Twitter he wants without being on the board. In fact, I would argue he could get even more.
Sure.
He's going to be much freer. He doesn't have a fiduciary obligation to other shareholders if he's not a director. He can keep tweeting to his heart's content about what Twitter ought to be doing within reason. Again, his kind of Twitter storm that he deleted, I suspect he was told by his lawyers, you've got to be careful when you're 10% shareholder, what kinds of possibly market-moving information you're putting out there. But nevertheless, he still has his platform. He's the biggest shareholder of the company. That guarantees a tremendous amount of tension. And I don't think he needs to be on the board for that.
The most telling or significant of his tweets, I thought, was the one about the business model. Because it's true, of course, that if Twitter needs to be an ad-driven business, it has to be, to some extent, quote-unquote, sanitized. But if not, if he's serious about moving it in a different direction towards one that depends more on subscriptions or whatnot, then it could be a little bit more freewheeling, shall we say. What do you make of the potential outcomes for the business one way versus the other?
Well, I think it's a really interesting question. He came up with this idea, let's get rid of the ads. He didn't quite say, well, then how are they going to replace all that revenue? At the moment, it is an ad-driven business. I assume they have done pretty in-depth studies as to what Twitter would look like if it moved to a subscription model, or primarily subscription, maybe some hybrid with some advertising in there. I assume they have done that and they have the data on that. What it actually shows, I don't know. But the fact they haven't moved in that direction suggests to me that for now they see it as a mass volume, ad-supported platform.
Final question on this. Do you think it's been a very good or very questionable experience for Twitter overall, his involvement here?
Well, if you look at the stock price, you have to say it's good. I mean, Musk has a cult following. The stock is up dramatically. It's even up again today after he said he wouldn't go on the board seat. So I think from a purely shareholder perspective, you have to say it's positive. From a management perspective, they're warning about these distractions. It's a double-edged sword to have everything that happens there in the media. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. There's probably going to be some controversy. And so we'll be able to keep their eyes on the ball. From that perspective, I see it as possibly distracting. But I think from a shareholder perspective, the endorsement of a Musk is very positive.